Hello everybody. It is Tuesday, January 7th, and it is a big day in the Stampin' Up world. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. I took a little bit of time off for the holidays, and it was good to be off. It was good to spend some time with family. It was good to see our older boys and our daughter-in-law. And now we're mostly back to normal. If we could just get rid of the snow and get our youngest back to school, hopefully tomorrow, then we'll be a set. But for today, I've moved back into my fancy bedroom office so that Caden can do his thing in the living room and not have to worry about being loud because Mom's on a video. So today is the beginning of the new January to April mini catalog and the best time of the Stampin' Up year, Celebration. Celebration starts today. It has some great incentives. There is, if you spend $60, you can get a free item from the Celebration brochure. And if you spend $120, then there are some bigger items. I don't actually have those in my possession, and I'm not going to show you those today during our launch, but we will show those later during Celebration. I'm going to be live at 12, 2, and 4 today, and I'm going to show you a Celebration fun freebie and an item from the mini catalog at each of those. And then tonight at 7, I'll do a couple more projects, and then we'll walk through the catalog and you can see those. So I'm going to turn you around, get started, put my glasses back on. I actually had to shower today because, it's been snowing here in St. Louis. If you're not in St. Louis, you may not have snow. But I have been, I'm just going to go with, not lazy, but definitely not keeping up with my not my hygiene, but I've washed my face and brushed my teeth and all that stuff, but I have not been dressed. And I told my husband a little bit ago that I am definitely right now the epitome of the party in the front, or business in the front, party in the back, except I am business on the top, party on the bottom, because I've got leggings and warm socks on. So here is the front of the Celebration catalog. It's fun, looks a little bit retro. We'll talk about these later tonight. But there's that. If you don't have these, some of you will have received those in the mail. If you're local, I probably haven't gotten this to you because it's been a little crazy in the last few days. And then the mini catalogs. So if you don't have those and you don't have someone who would give those, you don't have a demonstrator, let me know and I'm happy to get one of those to you. All right, I'm going to start today. I'm going to mix a bundle. The bundle I'm going to use is called Hugs for Love, and it has this cool punch. It is definitely kind of a fun thing, and then the stamp has the border. Then in the mini catalog, I will show you this really quick. There's some fun stuff in this new catalog. Like between my friend Sarah and I think we have pretty much everything in the catalog. Embarrassing. Okay, so here's the Hugs for Love bundle. It's in the catalog. It has the stamp set and the punch. The bundle is $38.50. And then over a couple more pages on the stamps only page, it has a coordinating stamp set called Bright Borders that has other multi-occasion words. So those two coordinate. I don't actually have this one yet. It's on order and it's not here yet, but I will show you some samples later from this one. So that is the bundle that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to mix it with some designer series paper that didn't necessarily go with this, but it's called the Delightful Floral Delight. And I used this paper for one of my swap cards. I did a demonstrator swap recently. And so I'm going to do that swap card, but I'm just going to show you some of the patterns. The floral is very springy, daffodil and old olive. You all will be surprised. I'm going to use old olive, the yellow and white gingham, and then the floral, kind of a pecan pie, almost a basket look, a little bit of blue mixed in with some flowers, and then a white background with it. And then there's one more. Let's see which one I didn't pull out. That's just the pieces that I had cut already. This one I didn't use for my swap, so it wasn't fully out. And this one is the branches, the pretty branches of the tree for the delightful wishes. And then on the back of that one is just a diagonal polka dot and stripe. So for my card, it's a pattern or a style template. What's the word I'm looking for? Template that I've used before, and I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to score it in half. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. This upside down, but hopefully you can see that, 4 1/4. I'm going to score it. Remember that the scoring blade is the lighter shade. It doesn't go as deep as the deeper shade blade that cuts. And then, so I've got my scoring in the middle. I'm going to turn this around so it's not making me crazy. I'm going to cut 1 inch off of one side. It doesn't matter which side. So for mine right this minute, it's on the right hand side. Yes, Lisa, I haven't seen you in forever. You were sick, the snow, the holidays, it's been crazy. All right, hi Robin, thanks for joining me. I bet it's warmer where you are than where we are right now. But I don't want to hear about it, so don't tell me, because I just don't want to know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fold it on the score line that we just did. And it's going to be a little off center. We're going to have more on the back. That part that sticks out more is the back. All right, and then I have a white piece that's going to go in the inside, but I'm not going to do that quite yet because we're going to use some designer series paper. When I did this, my samples or my swap cards, I just cut 4-inch strips. Some of them you can use the reverse. I think I'm going to use this one today, but some of them I didn't like how it looked reversed next to it. So I used just the front, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to cut, I've got a 4-inch strip, and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut 1 inch off of the right side. So I'm going to have a 3-inch piece and a 1-inch piece, and that's 5 1/4 inches long, and those line up. Now I'm going to put this piece on the front of my card, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use, go ahead and use what's that one? I knew I had one that wasn't working, and I of course picked up the wrong one. I went looking for my daffodil ribbon that's also brand new this morning, and I somehow laid it on my Christmas card stack. What in the world? Why would my yellow ribbon be on the Christmas card stack? But whatever. Oh, snow in Texas. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better, but at our house we have probably 6 inches with a little bit of ice, and then like St. Peter's, St. Charles, farther out, they have more snow than we did. We got a little more ice than they did. So I guess it all works out. Okay, so the white piece is going to go on the inside. But as you can see, this side over here is going to stick out. Now, I could just go with this and put this along the side. The pattern lines up. But this one, I think I really like this yellow and white gingham, so I'm going to flip this one so it's a little bit of a contrast. So I'm going to put the glue on the floral side and have the gingham side up. Alright, and then I'm just going to put that on right along the edge of my white panel. Then we're going to glue that on the inside. Okay. The inside I'm going to leave blank, but I always glue this piece on before I put any sentiment on it, because you may want to center it in the white section and not on the card, so that way it doesn't cover up. Yeah, so Lisa lives about 30 minutes west of me, and she got more snow, so It's a little bit of a bummer for us, but it was beautiful. Last night I took a picture. I should post it out our back window at like 11:15, and it almost looks daylight. It was crazy. Okay, so we've got the main part of the card designed. So I'm going to cut or punch a background punch out of the old olive, and then we're going to stamp, and I have some scrap here. I'm going to stamp a border. For my swap, I didn't want to make a Valentine card, and so the words in this actually are really great, but I wanted to do sending you a big hug, because that could be for multiple things. It could be somebody's having a bad day, it could be something happened in their life, and then you make me smile is also a good one, and you and I make the best team. I have a perfect one person that I want to send that to. So anyway, I'm going to stamp in Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to stamp the border. It does have a heart on it. I thought that was perfect with the hugs and kisses. And then, alright, so I've got the border. The borders on the Bright Borders stamp set are a little bit more general, so those are great if you don't want all the, kind of lovey-dovey ones. They're not really lovey-dovey, but it's just the word I'm going to use. So I'm going to do Old Olive ink. Can anyone who's watching believe that I am using Old Olive ink as on my first card? I know, it's shocking. All right, so then I'm gonna move it closer so I can actually see it. Okay, so I've got my words on there, and then I'm gonna punch that out. I think I got some dirt. So it fits right around that border. Make sure you can see all the sides of the border, and the pointy parts go around that heart. Okay. Now, I want to add a little bit of a layer, but then my green piece, my old olive piece, is exactly the same size as my white piece. So, to take care of that, I use my paper snips, and I'm just going to snip it right across the middle, just like that. And then I'm going to put some adhesive right about, I picked up the wrong adhesive again. Shoot. I had one that didn't work, and I grabbed it, and I'm going to keep grabbing it, so I'm going to set it way far out of reach. Alright, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to drop it promptly on my brand new paper here. Hopefully it doesn't stick too much. There we go. I'm going to put it on, oh my goodness, it sticks to my fingers. I'm going to leave just a border along the top. And I did that from the front so I could see that it was even. So I've got that, and then I'm going to do the same with the other piece. And if I do it from the back where I can see it from the front, then I can tell that they're even. Okay, so now we have a nice little border. If we just did the white piece, it wouldn't line up so well. So now, as you can see, I have a little bit of an edge. So I'm just going to take my scissors, go right along the edge of that white panel, so that it's aligned, so that way we don't have green sticking out the back. Okay? Now, I'm going to put some yellow daffodil ribbon, which is what I left by the Christmas card section. Who knew? And this is 1/8 of an inch ribbon. It's very dainty. It's very cute. And it matches the Delightful Wishes suite, the paper that I'm using. I'm not sure that I will show you that suite today, because it deserves its own, like, a full day of fun. So I will do a whole live using the Delightful Wishes, but not today. I'm just showing a couple of pieces of that today. Alright, so then I'm going to put the ribbon, just going to attach it, kind of right on the back, and you're going to be very surprised when I tell you I don't have regular tape back here. I forgot my roll of tape, so we're going to have to wing it here a little bit. Hope for the best. Alright, so we're going to use this Stampin' Seal. Got it. Usually I use a piece of Scotch tape, but as I have to do a couple of pieces here. And then I'm going to put my dimensionals on, but I have to be careful with my dimensionals because it's going to overlap onto the part that's not attached, so I don't want to put any dimensionals on this side. I just want to put my dimensionals down this the side that will be attached. So I'll put one there, one there. That'll help hold my ribbon in place. And one there. Old Olive has actually grown on me. Like I said, I'm using it for my first card, so that's pretty crazy. And then I'm going to put that right there. And I actually did not bring any gems in, but the antique pearls would be beautiful. And well, technically, I did make a bow. It's tied as a bow. It's just, or it's looped as a bow. It's not tied as a bow. But I'll make a bow before today's. Actually, I'll make a bow on my next card with some linen thread. So any iridescent gem would be beautiful with this. So there's that pattern, and then this is one of the other patterns that has green on the back, the Old Olive. So there's that one. So that's our mini catalog card for this morning, or for this, not even morning, it's afternoon already, isn't it? All right, so now my next one is a celebration card. So I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one mini catalog and one celebration card, and then I'll have to clear my table, and I will be back at 2 o'clock with the next set, which will also be a celebration and a mini catalog. But this is one of the celebration sets, and it's called Pick a Season, and it's a tree. And at first I was like, I don't know about this. Like, it's a tree. But then the more I looked at it, it's got the tree with the leaves. And then there's flowers, Easter eggs, hearts, and shamrocks. And leaves. All of which are super cute for spring. For my first card, I did leaves. And I'm going to show you how I made this. Is just a little bit of a fun fold. I've made this fun fold before, but I thought that tree fit perfectly there. So Pick a Season. This is the first celebration card that we're going to make. And I have my card base. And it's just a quarter sheet of garden green cardstock. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down my crumb cake panel, which is 1/4 inch. And so it's 4 by 5 1/4. Everything has a 1/4 inch border around the outside. That's how I usually measure, unless you want a small border, and 1/8 of an inch is sometimes what I use. All right, then I have my white panel. Now, I put, and you can do this either way, I have wood grain from the Country Woods Designer Series paper. This was in the big catalog. It's in the annual catalog. And this wood was actually a perfect accompaniment, I thought, to the tree set. I got this card from another demonstrator named, I believe her name was Rhonda Wright. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's so cute. Okay, so you could cut your whole panel. I've cut it at 3 1/2. It's just a 3 1/2 inch strip, and you can just put it right here on your thing. But this whole middle section right here is wasted. And so to save paper, which at home you might not care because you've got a whole bucket of cardstock or Designer Series paper, use it. But I'm just going to cut 1 inch. I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips. And that way, we're not covering the middle, and I can actually get at least one more card out of that strip than I would have if I had used the whole piece. Alright, so for this, we're going to glue it on with the border. You have to be a little bit careful. We're going to glue it with the border on each end, like that. Okay, just make sure that your wood grain panels, if we don't want to do this one like that way and that one that way, that'd be a little weird. So just make sure that your there's no right or wrong. You could also use the dark. Actually, what do you think? Let's lay this on here and pretend for a second. You can tell me if you liked the lighter one or the darker one. Oh, wait. Alright, sample. There's the darker one. This card, I didn't put any sentiment on this one. It can be, this particular stamp set doesn't have words, but I thought it could be a birthday. You could add words later. It could be just a note. You could write a note. Excuse me. the lighter. The lighter's what I think too, but I just thought maybe I want, and actually I'm gonna tone down the color of the tree, what's that called? Trunk. Oh my goodness, the tree trunk. But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, the only one who thought that. Thank you for your opinion. All right, so comments during my thing. That's where I was going to tell you. I did, when I posted my live thing, that there would be prizes. So I'm going to, for everybody who comments on on each of the lives, I'm going to enter your name. And then also, if you share my video, if you share it to a craft group, if you share it to your personal page, or if you, I don't know, you have answers for questions that I have, you ask a question, any of those type things, you will be entered. And I'm going to give a drawing, I'm going to do a drawing probably tomorrow after everybody has watched the videos. All right, so it looks like this. So there's a chance for prizes. Don't. All right, then I have I'm going to go ahead and assemble a little bit more just because then it's out of my way. So this is the actual opening for the card. And yes, I thought it was too, because otherwise I think I would have gotten at least one more card, or we'll get at least one more card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down. I like the wood paper. It's kind of a hidden gem in the annual catalog. And I'm just going to put adhesive pretty thoroughly on this piece, because this is the piece that's going to open top and bottom. There. And then I'm going to line that up just in the center, and it's going to cover the edges of our designer series paper, so you won't even know that that's not a whole strip. And it opens like this. The inside is going to get a white piece that I didn't cut, so we're going to pretend that that's there. It's a different size. Okay, now I'm going to wait to put this one on, because I think it's easier to put this together. Okay, now I'm going to stamp my tree trunk. I did the first one in espresso. I'm going to try it in, I have a frog in my throat, please excuse me. I'm going to do it in pecan pie this time. I'm going to dial it back a notch so it's not quite so dark. And then we'll see what we think. If we don't like it, then we will absolutely re-stamp it on the other side in brown. Alright, oh, my tree trunk. I just had my tree trunk in oh. Alright, so I'm going to do that in pecan pie. And I'm going to stamp it probably right about here. And I think I'm going to like this color a little bit better. I think the other one's a little dark. All right, this one's going to lighten a little bit. So let's see how that turns out for me. Actually, we're going to go with it no matter what, so it'll be fine, right? All right, so I'm going to take my tree trunk and I'm going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green, which is the lighter bright green, Granny Apple. And you can see, I'm going to have to stand up so I can see this. On the stamp, there is kind of a spot where the trunk fits in, and that stamps right there. I will tell you that when I did my original sample, I stamped the leaves first, and then I was like, ooh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna, again, sometimes I have to put things closer. I'm actually standing up, but I have to put things closer so I can actually see. All right, ready? So it's crooked for you, and I apologize. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that actually, I kind of like that the color is not uniform, because then it's going to look like a real tree. All right, but I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to use the leaves, because it's spring. flowers haven't bloomed yet. Actually, I wish it was spring. Oh my goodness. Yeah, out my window is definitely not springy. All right. And then all of these little pieces fit into, and you kind of have to turn them. They fit into those empty spaces that are circles. Yeah, sometimes that catalog is definitely does not do justice to things that there's been time, but I've learned my lesson, actually, and I just told one of my customers this recently. Actually, it wasn't a customer, it was a demonstrator on my team, and she said, oh, I just don't know, I don't like that. And I've learned a lesson, very, sometimes hard lesson, that I think, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's ugly. And then all of a sudden I see 54 samples made with it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is one of the cutest stamp sets in the catalog. And I think, oh, I can't believe I didn't like that. So yes, I have learned that's my lesson for today. I have learned not to judge my stamp sets by what's in the catalog, because sometimes until you get it in your hands, you just can't tell, which is frustrating. But then I'll think, oh, so it is my job to show you the things that I don't think you'll like, because once a long time ago, I was told that you should show, and I don't remember the exact percentage, 50% of everything that you love, 25% of things that you're like, it's okay, and then 25% of, oh, I really don't like this. So I've learned that lesson, and I try really hard, and actually Kathy just commented, amen, and she's one of my ones who talked me into doing a stamp set last year, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then after it turned out, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty good. All right, so I'm going to make grass, and I'm just going to literally go across a little bit, put a little grass around the bottom of our tree. No right or wrong, just a little base. All right, so now our tree has grass. And so my card club for this month, actually, one of my ladies requested, and I'm going to show that later today, but we are using the linked together bundle for my card club this month. And when my gal asked, that was my mistake, I shouldn't have asked what people wanted to do. And when she answered me and said, the linked together bundle, I thought, oh, no. And of course, are there samples online right now? No. So Lori is winging it, coming up with some of her very own. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. But it's a little scary, but like I said, I was like, I don't know. And now that I've seen it and worked with it, I'm like, oh, this is really cute. So stay tuned for that. Card club for this month is the Link Together bundle. We'll talk about that more later. It's not today's. Actually, we will show it later. All right, so the crumb cake piece will line up with the outside crumb cake pieces. Now, if it's a man card, you can leave it exactly like that. But since Lisa challenged me to a bow, we're going to make a little bow. I think we got it on there. But you know I don't make a bow like everybody else. So I've just got my little loops. Now I'm going to cut another little piece and tie that right around. I was sent a video of a bow making thing the other day, and I was like, you know I can't do that, right? And so it's just how I roll. All right, look at that. See, I did it in like one try, 7 seconds. I'll trim it when we get it on here. And I'm going to, because this is a smaller little knot, I want to put the glue dot behind the knot, so I'm actually going to roll this one up just a little bit. And put that right behind my knot. Let's see. Put it right there. There's a little bit of a gap right there, so I'm just going to put it right there. And there you have it. So this is toned down a little bit. I do think I like that a little better than the darker one. But this is the Celebration Pick a Season stamp set. It goes with that one. And like I said, super cute, much cuter than what we all think when it's in the catalog. And then the other mini catalog bundle I used was the Hugs for Love. And there's the card we made for that one. So, thank you for watching. I will be back at 2 o'clock with 2 more samples, one from the Celebration catalog. Throwing things around here. One from the Celebration catalog and one from the mini catalog. Don't forget to share my video, to share it, like it, comment, all those things. You will be in a chance to win a prize. I'm going to give away a couple of prizes for today because it's a party. Let's have a party. Parties require gifts. So anyway, I will see you all at 2 o'clock. Have a great afternoon. Looking forward to stamping with you again later. Thanks.